Welcome to 30-Minute Yoga. It is Thursday, November 5th. Today we're going to do some balance poses, do some work for our abs, which also is incorporated in some of the balance poses, but we'll do some maybe planks. So if we're doing those moves and you'd rather be down on your knees for the planks, please go there. As always, work at your own pace. Child's pose is a place to bring your body to rest if you find the intensity level isn't suiting you, or if today is a day you need to rest, then enjoy child's pose for as long as you need to. I will probably wrap up just a little early today. I have a meeting at 12:30, so I need to watch the clock a little bit. So if you want to stay in Shavasana longer than I'm able to, then please go ahead and do that as well. Okay, so let's make our way to our mats. You have water nearby if you need it. If you have a towel or a block to help with any balance poses for support, please have that nearby. And we're going to take ourselves down onto our mats, gently making your way into our starting Shavasana position. Feeling the connection all the way down the body, back of the head, shoulders, upper back, hips, down the legs to our heels, and down the arms to the back of our hands as we place our palms facing up towards the ceiling. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can incorporate that. If your eyes, rather they stay open, then maybe just a soft gaze, just staring off in the distance. Starting to hear and feel our breathing. Taking in longer breaths. In and out through the nose to start. Feeling the chest and the abdomen rising and falling. Doing that scan through the entire body, if there's tension being held. Maybe it's a contraction and then letting go and relaxing. Feeling the tongue off the top of your mouth, maybe separating the teeth. Relaxing the eyebrows. Breath becomes longer, deeper. In through the nose and hold at the top. Opening the mouth, exhaling with a sigh. Doing that again. Inhale through the nose and hold at the top. Open the mouth, exhale with a sigh. One more time. And back to in and out through the nose. Wiggling fingers and toes, slowly rolling ankles and wrists. Reaching up nice and long with your fingers, stretching your toes in the opposite direction. Inhale. And now exhale, bring those knees in and hug them close to your chest. A side to side rock or a little massage to your lower back. Bringing the bottom of your feet so that they're pressing up towards the ceiling. Your hands come between your knees. Your elbows on the inside of your knees, your hands on the outside of your feet. Or maybe they're reaching to your ankles or shins. Your version of happy baby. And again, you can do that slow rock back and forth. or you can hold your baby still, whatever feels comfortable for you. Bring those knees in one more time. Slowly lifting up head and shoulders, we're going to extend our left foot. You can place it on the ground, or for a little bit more intensity through the core and the abs, you can just hover that foot. And bring it back in and switch to the other side. Again, you have the option of putting the foot on the ground or leaving it to hover. Bringing the other side in. So this is some of that ab work that I mentioned. We're going to do a little bit more of this class. So we're just switching slowly side to side. Those toes are flexed back towards your nose. And let's finish up this last side. Bring that knee in. One more little hug into a ball. And then slowly roll down head and shoulders. Your right arm comes above your head, roll over to the right side and push up with your top arm. And making our way into table position. So we engage the core so that we have a nice flat back. We spread our fingers and then press your elbow creases forward, but without locking out the elbows. We sag down the belly, open the chest and inhale in our cow position. And then we exhale and draw the belly up into the spine and arch the back in our cat position. Cow, inhale. And cat, exhale. Cow, inhale. Cat, exhale. Two more at your pace. And after your final cat, come to rest in table position. Making sure that those wrists are underneath your shoulders, and we're going to make sure we're propped up on our toes and just lift off about an inch or two, bringing those knees to hover over your mat. Again, engaging the core. And slowly come down for a little rest. If you'd like to do a bit of a stretch into puppy, you can move the hips back, but don't sit them back. Just keep them up a little bit. Back into table, let's hover those knees again. And slowly bring them down. Moving those hands just a little bit forward, and we're going to prop up onto our toes, rock onto the bottom of your feet, and move into downward facing dog. So as always, puppy position is there. If you don't like downward facing dog, pressing the chest in towards the mat, tail up to the ceiling, and we're walking just to wake up those muscles down the back of the leg. Now we're going to come forward into plank. And now here's your option. You can stay up on your toes, you come down on your knees, it's your choice, but we're going to start to bring knee to elbow on each side. Again, core work here. And if you're on your knees, you're bringing your knee up and back down. Let's do a couple more. 4, 3, 2, last one, and push back into downward facing dog. Up onto your toes, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Forward fold. Flat back. And bringing it down, let's step back the left foot. Stay in a lunge position. Bring the left hand to the inside of your right foot. And we're gradually going to turn our shoulders, upper body, and reach up. So we've got a lunge twist. right foot back to meet the left. Going into our first flow, slowly bring upper body down and coming into a cobra. So we don't want to push back too much on our first flow. Back up onto your toes, move through table or directly into downward facing dog. Up onto your toes, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat again. Flat back and down, all the way up. Forward fold, flat back, hands down, step back the right foot, stay in lunge, so we slightly lower the back leg, right hand to the inside of your left foot. We slowly turn our upper body, you can keep your hand on your thigh, or you can reach that arm up. And doing a nice lunge twist. Slowly coming back down, and take that left foot back to meet the right. Going through another flow, Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep those elbows close. Maybe bringing the upper body a little higher, and flip back into downward facing dog. And before we lift up the left leg, let's just bend the knees and then press the left leg up. We're going to bend the knee and open up the hip as though we're a dog by a fire hydrant, and just do a slow circle with the hip. A few in one direction and then a few back opposite direction, and then take that leg back up. And let's bring the knee in and step forward between your hands. Making your way up into crescent lunge. Pop up a little higher on that back foot. Holding those arms strong. Your option is to have them out in front. On your next inhale, let's pivot that back foot. Make your way into warrior two, so heel to arch alignment. Arms nice and strong with relaxed shoulders. And then steady your gaze over your front hand. Tuck in your pelvis just a bit and press that front thigh to the outside of your mat. Flipping the front palm, reaching back. Exalt your warrior. And let's bring it back, pivot your hands down, stepping back, and let's go into a flow. You can add push-ups anytime you want, and you can start coming up a little higher, keeping it a cobra or going into the upward facing dog position with a bit more arch in that back. Bend the knees and then press up the right leg. Bend your knee, open up the hip. Like a fire hydrant, the dog at the fire hydrant. And slowly rotate one direction with that hip. Slow it down, a couple of rotations in the opposite direction. And then back up again. And bring the knee in, step through those hands. And come on up into crescent lunge, second side. Up a little higher on the back of your foot. As we're warming up, we can intensify the lean or the arch, making sure it's coming through the back and not the neck. So we still pretend we have a grapefruit there under our chin. Come back to shoulders over hips, inhale, and move into warrior two. Checking those arms nice and strong, shoulders relaxed. Gaze over your front fingers. Tuck in through the pelvis and press out to the outside of your mat. Flip that front palm, lean back and exalt your warrior. Coming back, pivoting down, hands on the ground, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. So if you're adding those push-ups, and beautiful cobra, upward facing dog, maybe a child's pose. Whatever you're doing, whatever your body needs. Landing in our downward facing dog. Up onto your toes, bend the knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale and down. Inhale again, hands meet at heart center. And then hands at your side, palms facing forward in mountain pose. And I'm just going to turn to the front. So this is my redo from last week when I called a pose crow pose, but we're actually doing eagle. So if you would like to have a support beside you, you can move your block. I'm going to stand on my left foot, so my block is on the left side of my left foot. I pop up my toe, I bring my foot over, I cross my legs, and I squeeze in really tight through the thighs, also through the calves, and I start to sit down, and I also cross my arms. So I've got my right leg over, and I've got my right arm under. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to do that again because I fell out of the pose. So we can have back of our hands, we can double bind our hands, and we sit in our eagle pose. Without leaning forward, we try to keep the back nice and tall, lift the arms up. Ground the foot. And slowly come up and release. And we're going to do the second side. So if you choose to use that block, you can use it just to touch down your foot. And I'll demonstrate the second time. So grounding through the right foot, lift the left leg, crossing over, squeezing through the thighs, squeezing through the calves, starting to sit down. This time my left arm goes under, and I can meet the back of my hands or double bind. And here's where my toe can touch down just slightly onto that block. And if I don't want to use it, I just continue to squeeze those legs. Try to focus on one spot that's not moving with your eyes. Feel all four corners of your foot grounding. Staying tall, lifting those arms. And slowly come out. Beautiful. So again, that was eagle. We're going to go into a tree pose here as well. So again, anytime we do balance, it does help. We're engaging the core, so balance work is also standing core work. So popping up onto my right toes, I'm standing on my left leg. I open up so my hips are nice and open, my right knee is facing towards the side wall. Hands to heart center. I can stay here and just every once in a while lift my toe, or I can stay with my sole of my foot on the inside of my calf. If it's in your practice, you can bring your foot up and over your knee, pressing on the inside of your thigh. And again, grounding through all four corners of the foot that's on the ground, eyes focused on something that is not moving. Slowly bring those hands down, knee forward, step down, ready to switch to the second side. So ground your foot, pop up onto your toes, and then open through the hips. Lean your heel onto your ankle, stay here, and challenge your balance just with the toe lifting, or move to a different level of intensity with sole of your foot on the inside of your calf, or up and over your knee. And again, hands can rest at heart center. They can reach up like branches. As we hold a pose, time to focus on our breathing. Maybe it's a way to calm down the body. Slowly bring those hands back to center. Knee forward, step down. I'll move to the top of my mat again. Deep breath in. Swan dive down. Let's just stay folded over our thighs. Let's bend those knees and bring the chest right onto those thighs. And we can go into ragdoll. If you want support, hands stay on the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows. And nodding that head, turning side to side. Hands down on your mat, flat back. Exhale down, hands on your mat, step back. Let's go through a flow. Your choice whether there are push-ups in it. And into our upward facing dog. Pushing back, downward facing dog. And we're going to land our knees on our mat. And we're going to move so that our feet come in front. Sitting up nice and tall. So just doing some adjustment there, so we're on our sit bones. Bring in the left foot. And if it's in your practice, you can cross over that extended right leg. The toes are pointing back towards our nose. Left arm slightly behind with a soft elbow. Reach up with your right hand. And as we exhale, we turn, rotate, look over that left shoulder. So we can be hugging the knee, or we can have our elbow on the outside of that knee, or a more intense stretch here. Stay up nice and tall. Slowly coming back, and a little unwind. Back to center. Adjust those legs in your seated position if you need to. Bring in the right foot. Land here or cross over. Right hand slightly behind. Keep that elbow with a micro bend. Inhale, reach up. And that left arm either hugs in your knee or goes to the outside of that leg as we turn and look over the right shoulder. Trying to resist if the body wants to start to collapse down towards the mat, trying to stay nice and tall, keeping the chest open as we breathe. Slowly coming back. And an unwind. And let's have both legs out. Inhale. And exhale as we fold at the hips and come forward. Your hands can stay on the mat. They can reach for your toes. Trying to keep the chest up as we lean. A slight micro bend in those knees. And slowly coming back. Moving those hips, slowly rolling down. And let's just hug in those legs again. We were doing this at the beginning of our class. We're going to turn it into a bicycle now. So what we did at the beginning of the class, you can stay there with your foot resting down, or we can go into a slow bicycle. So hands at the side of our head, elbows meeting our knees. Slowly side to side. Couple more. Last one, let's bring both knees in, up into a ball, and slowly roll down. Bring both feet on the ground. Keep that right foot on the ground, lift up your left leg, point the toes back towards your nose. Crossing over into our figure four. Staying here or lifting the entire figure four. Both legs come in close to your chest. The toes of both feet pulling back towards the knees. And as you breathe, your inhale, you let go a little bit. And your exhale is when you pull in. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's take that down. Feet are wider than your hips. Just a few windshield wipers. And coming back with those feet close to the lower part of your spine. Keeping the left foot on the ground, right foot up, toes pointed back. And crossing over into figure four. Staying here or starting to lift those legs up towards the chest, hands go through the keyhole. Without pressing with your hand, your thigh tries to press out and away. And again, as you're breathing, you release a little bit as you inhale. And as you exhale, you get smaller. Inhale as you get bigger. Exhale as you get smaller. One more time. And that just gives us a little bit of an opportunity to intensify the stretch. Release, intensify, release, intensify. Let's bring that down. The last set of windshield wipers. And bring those knees in. Into a happy baby or the waterfall, legs up the wall, without a wall. So if both legs are up, we've got the toes pointing towards our nose. So you're going to walk on the ceiling. You can support a little bit if you'd like by putting your fists underneath your hips. Giving those legs a shake. Stillness again. And then slowly bringing those knees in. One last little ball. And then rolling down. Extending into Shavasana. And this might be a little short today, so if you'd like to stay here longer, please do. Just a final minute to focus on breathing. Clear your mind. Release the tension. Maybe even physically open the jaw. Slowly starting to wiggle fingers and toes. Gently bringing the body back. Walking those feet in. Those knees are bent. Rolling onto one side or the other. Just staying on your side for just a second. Just a few breaths here. And then on your next inhale, let's sit it up. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Your eyes are still closed or they're soft, your gaze is down. Hands coming to heart center. Inhaling through the nose. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Back to your regular breathing. Thank you for joining me today. Continue your practice of mindfulness, strengthening, movement, physical and mental health. And cherish it all. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day.